Anyway, there's going to be a lot of giggling with this. Welcome, Penny, to Ask the Website Designer's Customer. And at some point, I will think of a more catchy term. But Penny is a customer of mine, and I'm a customer of Penny's. Tell me, Penny, what do you do? Put you on the spot.
Wow. Well, I run a business called the Best of Sudbury, which I've actually been doing for over 10 years now. And for the last, I think, 7 of those years, I've also, apart from during COVID and lockdown times, I've also
Done Sudbury Business
organised the
Expo.
Sudbury Business Expo. So they're my two businesses.
Two businesses, but it's kind of one business under one roof. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So the best of is like the umbrella business, as it were, and then
Mm.
a little offshoot is the Business Expo, which I hold once a year. And a little bit about the best of. I work with lots of lovely businesses, and I help promote them and help them stand out, um, and share their offers and more importantly, their great reviews, and try and connect them with the local community because I think it's very important that we support local businesses in our community and are there for one another fiscally, but also, emotionally and the like.
Yeah, and you certainly have for me because I joined Best of Sudbury. It's 10 years ago this month, isn't it? I
It
must have joined
is.
in
It's on the
2014.
logo. 2014. It's the logo's on the website.
Is it now? Does it say 10 years? Oh, I don't know why I get really happy about that.
Yeah.
So in case people are watching this going, what the hell's happening? So the Best of Sudbury is it's a franchise, isn't it? So you buy
Mm.
into a local bit. So this is Sudbury, Suffolk. Um,
Yes.
and as soon as you came along, I was feeling like Sudbury is not connected enough business-wise. There's a few networking events, but I felt like Bury was very well connected. Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk and Ipswich in Suffolk
Mm.
was really well connected. But I felt like there was nothing really in Sudbury. And when you came along, it was through a friend called Louise, Louise Richardson, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm joining. As soon as I spoke to you, it was almost like, shut up and take my money. Because I was like, I had such a positive vibe. And yeah, you really have helped connect Sudbury, Suffolk businesses
Oh, thank you.
together.
Well,
And you've
I
been a really
do
good friend
enjoy
as well. Yeah. There's been a couple of troubling things where I've messaged you, I don't know what to do. And you've gone, yes,
it.
you put me through some horrific things. But in those 10 years, you'd be able to go through some, well, shit. I'm going to
Well,
swear.
you do.
You're going to
Well,
go
you
through
do.
something given
it's
long
it's not
enough.
all going to be it's not all going to be you know fairies and
Yeah.
rainbows and
Yeah. You are going to have the odd
what
customer
have
that
you.
teaches you how to how to do stuff
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
you did those first Sudbury Business Expo, I think, what, 3 years into starting Best of Sudbury? Would that be right?
I Yes, I've been trying to remember. So I
I'm
started the
sure it was
best
like
of
2017. It was
the
before Ollie
thing.
and I had got married and we were living together. And I remember we were going to go on holiday like the day after you held one. And I can feeling really, really stressed. That's how I remembered it. Was it the Sudbury football place?
No, the first one I did was at Thomas Gainsborough School sixth form in.
That's right. That was
So
before
I
that.
think
Yeah.
I think it might have been 2016.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Um, and I was actually surprised at how busy it was.
Yeah, it was really busy.
Um, because a lot of the other best of franchises at the time were doing, Colchester was doing Colchester Means Business, and the best of Bolton were doing like the big Bolton Expo. And I thought I would quite like to do because I think it's just like a networking event that I do anyway,
Hmm.
but much bigger.
Yeah.
Um, and so I got a little bit of help from the other franchises. They sent me board like legal stuff, information like their contracts, and I looked at various websites and I went to my own ones and decided what is it that I really like, and what is it that I don't like, and then I'll try and make something. I knew that I had to have, or I really wanted some networking there, and the speed networking we had. I remember right in the middle of the expo. Um, and it was all free to attend. Obviously, there was a fee for the actual stand itself, but free to attend and free for the speed networking. And I remember on my spreadsheet when I was talking to people afterwards saying, what worked, what didn't. Some of the feedback that I got was like, well, I really wanted to be part, like an exhibitor. I really wanted to be part of the speed networking, but I couldn't because it was right in the middle of the day, and I was
Oh,
talking so I was talking to customers, and also there was a big kind of drain, whereas everybody went to the speed networking and left the
yeah,
exhibitors.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
thought,
I don't
well,
think I did the speed networking. I think I just
mm.
dossed about in the background
So that,
somewhere.
yeah. So it was from that learning that I decided, right, well, the speed networking has to be beforehand so that exhibitors can take part as well.
Mm,
And also
mm.
there isn't that big kind of drain. And I also had the 3 seminars, which I have kept. And there were people saying, yeah, but when people go out to the seminars, then it's quite empty. And I thought, well, I can't really do much about that
Tough.
because we can't.
Yeah.
Oh. Um, but yeah, that's there are some expos that I've been really pleased with. So that first one, I was quite blown away about how successful it was in terms of
Mm.
just how busy it was and the really good feedback that I got. And so I knew that I had to move to a bigger venue. So I went to AFC Sudbury, and that was a really good expo. So kept it there next year. Um, but there are a few little issues which made me think I probably need to move it. So then I thought Stoke by Nayland because
Yeah. Yeah.
in my head, what I thought, I mean, not really Sudbury, but I thought, well, when I was at AFC Sudbury, I was getting lots of people from Colchester, and I thought, well, if I hold it at Stoke by Nayland,
It's near a
it's
Colchester.
nice, it's right in the middle, so that
Mm,
would be really
mm.
good. Um, And also, there's lots of space. It's perfect for the speed networking because you can have a lunch and they're all adjoining. The actual layout, logistics, it was the best place. Um, However, there was a couple of things that I didn't really take into consideration. One, it was straight after a bank holiday. There was also
I
something
can't
I couldn't
remember
find
it.
anything about.
Did you do
Mm,
it on the Stoke by Nayland in the end?
I did, yeah, yeah. I
I
think
can't
that must
remember.
have been
Why can't,
2019.
why can't I
Um,
remember it? Oh, I'm going to blame that on the menopause.
yeah, do that. Yeah, blame on. Yeah, it was. I I know
It
that
all come to
lots
me.
of people who exhibited, they were really
Mm,
happy with it, but
mm.
I wasn't because I just didn't think there was the footfall.
Yeah.
Um, I just felt maybe it's because it was such a big venue that really needed maybe twice as many stands, or
Mm.
um, I think there was also an accident on the A12 and that stopped
Oh,
people coming. And
you could have
I
put
don't
it
know, I
through.
just felt it was a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, but everybody said, "Oh no, it was great. It was really good. I met loads
Yeah,
of
it's a
great
lovely
people."
venue. I love that place.
Me.
Yeah.
So anyway, then getting all my thinking now. I wasn't. I
All
didn't know I
right.
was going to talk about this.
Just, yeah, it's all good. It's all
Logistics
good.
of different venues. But then I thought, if it's going to be about a Sudbury Business Expo, then it needs to be in Sudbury. And Rachel Price had just started as town centre manager, and I said to her, I would really like to do something at the town hall because it's smack bang in the middle.
Love that. Love that
Sudbury,
venue.
it's a really good sized room. It's actually perfect. And so I held it there in no, they held it there in 2019. So
Hmm.
2018 was Stoke by Nayland.
Ah, right.
2019, and I was like, yeah, I really, this is great. All books for 2020 in April, May 2020, and of course,
Yes.
we
We
didn't.
didn't know what was going to happen, did we? When the pandemic was getting closer and closer to the UK, and a cousin of mine,
Mm,
who works with a lot of international sort of companies, she's sort of, I think she went into lockdown way before everyone else because she could see what was going to happen. She's like, yeah, but
my
everyone
sister,
else
who
is
was
like,
living in Vietnam,
yeah,
she
yeah.
had to. I mean, they had to go into lockdown much earlier. It's crazy,
Mm-hmm.
like February, full lockdown. But
No, no, we
yeah,
thought
of course,
it might have been like,
different
I can remember SARS, and that never made it to the UK.
no.
It got to Germany. I think I might be wrong about that, but yeah,
Mm,
I thought we might be all
yeah,
right. I was a bit blasé about it, and then we all weren't. So that was,
I know. Changed
yeah, you went
everything,
online. You
really.
did all the Zoom things online. That was brilliant. You went
I did.
straight to Zoom
Yeah.
like everyone else did, but that was really pioneering in a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. I think it was more of a necessity, I think.
Hmm.
Um, so I didn't really do it for the business. I think I felt that it was a really worrying time for
Hmm.
businesses because
Yeah.
I know when we went into that initial lockdown, end of March, whenever it was, 2020, I lost something like 40% of my business overnight
Wow.
because all the pubs that I looked after, they just
Yeah.
cancelled. well, which is absolutely understandable because there was nothing they couldn't open.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's meant 60% stayed, but
Hmm.
it was quite a worrying time. We didn't know
Yeah.
anything about like finance packages or any sort of
We didn't
bounce
know how
back
long it was going
loans
to
or anything.
last, or when there was
No,
what was going to happen. It's easy to look back and go, well, it only lasted this long, but you didn't know that at the time.
no. I mean, I was like Googling Spanish flu and seeing how long that lasted. That
Yeah,
was
what
like
did
four
they do?
years, and
And
I thought 4 years. I
yeah,
was thinking, I can't stay inside for 4 years. I'll go mad.
I was
So
quite happy.
I,
Not that
yeah.
I can potter about my
So
garden for fun.
I thought what would be really is there's going to be lots of other businesses that are going to be really like worried. So wouldn't it be good if we all came together? And I try to kind of have a tone of it's really positive, and let's talk about something positive that's happening.
Yeah, yeah,
And how can we change our businesses to suit the fact that we're now indoors? I mean, we have obviously for pubs and restaurants. I know that a lot did the takeouts later on. But what is it that we can do to
mm,
kind of help each other and support each other? And I met some really lovely people off the back of those networking events. And yeah, I think they were there when people needed them. And then as we
mm.
started going back into a normal sort of life, and things started opening up, then people didn't. I remember there was just me and one other person. I thought, I think it's time now. This must have been, I don't know, maybe end of 21. I think it's probably time to go and knock these on the head. But
Yeah,
they served a purpose.
they did,
I,
absolutely did.
I, I now I'm not so keen on online networking.
All right.
Um,
I quite
yeah,
like it, but I'm lazy and I don't like traveling anywhere.
I mean, I find things like Zoom or Teams or whatever absolutely brilliant for meetings. Like,
Yeah, yeah, meetings and just discussing stuff. Yeah, 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 like
just
this.
so I mean, it's perfect. I mean, I had a meeting with David Everett and on Teams, and he lives less than a mile away from me. But
Yeah,
it's like we're both really busy, so we just got a couple of things to
yeah,
discuss.
yeah.
Let's just jump
And
on a
I find this
call.
much easier than on the phone.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
me
looking at
too.
people's faces when I don't know what it
Yeah,
is. I'm not reading that much. Maybe I read more than I think I do. Don't
yeah,
know, but I got really used
I
to.
prefer it too.
See, I can
Mm.
do this now, but before lockdown, I was forcing myself to make videos and forcing myself to make videos for my business. And I don't think they were very good because I looked really tense, like there was a gun off camera, like you must do this. And then I started making videos, I don't know, 21, 22, and I can just sit and talk at the thing now and talk
Yeah,
all sorts of rubbish. And it's all right. I can do it. I'm not nervous
yeah.
now. I don't know if it's any good, but at least I can do it without feeling
No,
like
they're really good.
I'm gonna have a thank you. I'm gonna have a heart attack or something. But yeah.
Yeah, no, your videos are really good, very informative.
Oh,
I need to do more of them. Um,
I try my myself to do at least one a
yeah,
week.
yes, that is very good. Yeah,
Yeah,
doing
one
one
a
a week, and
week.
I can prattle on about something.
One
Uh,
one I did just now was on pinch zoom. So when you're not zoomers in the
I,
zooms in, zooming in, because your website should
yes.
that's an accessibility and an SEO feature. So um I think a lot of SEOs focus on keywords and content, but
Hmm.
actually Google wants to list the most useful websites. So if you've got two websites that are very similar and one's accessible and one isn't, and you've got someone who's got a visual impairment, the person with
Hmm.
the visual impairment is going to go to the obvious one that's accessible. So SEO and accessibility are actually quite closely linked. So that was my point of mine.
Well,
You know,
SEO, not that I'm an expert of anything, but it's about kind of the user experience, isn't it?
yeah,
And so
exactly.
whether that's reading the right words or seeing
Making
the
it, yeah,
video or
the pinch zoom. Actual stop it, Abbie. But
yeah. Mm.
yeah, yeah. So you did when did you do? Ouch, got a cramp in my fingers. Um, when did you do the first expo after lockdown? Was that 22? Was it 22?
Uh,
And that was at the
ye-
town hall, wasn't it? I remember being at town hall and I loved the town hall because Ollie and I got
I
married
do love
there.
them. Ah,
So
22. I think it
no,
might
it
have
was
been
23, I think.
it was last year. I took.
It
I
was, wasn't
think
it?
I think I was I needed to mentally prepare myself to do it again because the first few years I'd done it pretty much by myself, obviously like outsourced, what have you, and it's a lot of work. And the big thing is obviously after COVID, I started working for Hourglass, so my time is not as
Divided.
yes, very much divided. So I didn't feel as I was in a really good position to do one in 22, but then 23, just like I need to do it again. I want to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, 23. Really, I like that venue. I think it works really well.
It's a lovely place.
Um,
Yeah, and it's a lovely old. When you think of a town hall, it's just a lovely old but accessible and light and airy,
yes,
nice
yeah,
building, I think.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
about the right space. Yeah, it's about the right space, I think. So that's good. Did you know that the architect of the town hall is actually buried in the little
Oh,
graveyard at St.
oh,
Peter's?
really? You froze a bit there.
He's
You went a bit
buried there.
weird. I think we got you though. So
Oh,
the architect
does
of the
it?
building is buried in the graveyard.
Yeah. And he's at his burial site.
Yeah,
His grave
yeah.
is actually facing the town hall, so
Oh,
he
is
can
it?
look
Oh, is he
for
at
the
St.
rest of
Peter's
eternity.
Church?
Yeah, there's a tiny little graveyard, about 15 or so
Yeah, yes. I often
gravestones.
look around there because there's a memorial to the 101 Dalmatians, isn't there?
There
Author.
is, yes, that's the little water
Yeah,
fountain,
little water
the
fountain.
little trough. It's a little trough, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because it's mentioned in 101 Dalmatians when
yeah,
the main Scotty dog is there trying to look for a puppy.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Actually, the original one, I believe, was damaged in the 90s. I think a
Oh,
van reversed into it or crashed into it.
really?
So reinstated. It's been about 10 years ago
Oh,
by
really?
our favourite stonemason Neil.
Ah, brilliant. Oh, Luxton, Neil
Yeah,
Luxton, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nice bloke,
So
really
he
nice guy.
yeah, lovely.
Wow. Oh my God, I didn't realize he did
Yeah.
that, but yeah, that's lovely.
Oh,
My dad has a friend that was married in that church when it was a functioning church.
wow. So that would have been
And that high street,
70s.
the parking, you could drive round it. You could drive around the front of
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
church. Right,
Oh wow.
in the old days.
In the olden days.
In the olden
Wow.
days. He's not around anymore.
Yeah.
My dad's friend that he's passed away since, but yeah, that's yeah, interesting. They were going to demolish that church at one point.
Were they?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I was
wicked.
talking to people, the arts, what they call the art organization people, arts centre
Oh,
people.
what's up with Art
Now on it.
Centre?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Years ago they were saying they were talking about demolishing it. What?
Nice.
So I'm glad they didn't. It's lovely, lovely place.
Yeah, it's I think Sudbury is lucky to have it.
I love
Um,
Sudbury. I live in Housestead, but I love both towns, but I love Sudbury.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
I think it's I think it's quite an understated little town.
yeah,
I think it's got a lot going for it, but it can be quite self-deprecating
yeah, yeah.
if you can have a town that's
People can be like that and people pay attention to the problem with today's media online and on TV, it likes to big up drama and extreme
does.
feelings
It
rather than
does.
good things and positive things. And sometimes that can have a detrimental effect, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, do you know, it really gets my goat. I would,
yeah,
but I know that such things don't. That that I know that newspaper articles, when they're online, that those journalists are targeted on the amount of clicks, and so
mm.
you need
They're
to
under
get
pressure.
something that is, yeah, you've got to get something that is going to go and get somebody to click
Yeah,
through,
yeah,
and the doom and gloom and shock and fear, it all sells.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I wonder if it'll be
whereas
changed. I hope it does.
I remember I was in Sainsbury's a few years ago, and I bumped into a journalist from the East Anglian Daily Times, and we were having a chat in the frozen food section, as you do.
Mm.
And this journalist was telling me that he'd written a piece. I think it was on an environmental issue, something like that, something quite serious and important. And his colleague had written a story about how 5 businesses were closing in Sudbury. Um, and the amount of people that clicked on the link that says these 5 businesses, when it wasn't actually, that's not entirely true, because one of them was Duck and Boots, and Duck and Boots was actually relocating. So that wasn't actually
Oh, right. So
closing.
it wasn't necessarily true that they were closing because, yeah.
No, no, there was uh I can't remember them all, but it was this sort of like, oh no, everything is rubbish. headline to get people to click on it, whereas his article, which was on something important,
Got
had very
less.
few people kind of registering it, which is, but that is just
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
It's like
And
the
I don't
BBC are
know how
trying
you
it as
fix it.
well. On the BBC
The
website, I
BBC
think more
should
of
not.
them, and they get kind of, oh, this really sensational headlines. And I'm like, I am on purpose not going to.
Yeah, I
Not
don't
going.
think the BBC should do that. In fact, I actually think the BBC should go back to just writing facts without any opinion or any like just like just facts, just
Absolutely.
bullet
Let's
points,
start
and
let's
that's
start our
it.
own news agency. Let's not, because that's too much work.
Well, it was all about because the whole point of the BBC. We're getting very much off topic here, but
It's good to do it. Yeah.
never mind.
Do it anyway.
The whole point of the BBC it's to inform, entertain, and educate.
Yeah. I
That
go
sound
to the
about right?
BBC
Yes.
for that. I go off of all the other news channels. I think, right, for some quality news, I go to BBC and I sit there. I'm like, this is no different. I'm not getting a proper.
Hmm.
I've got the kids in school teaching me the gossip rather than feeling like I'm being
Yeah.
taught to.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a better analogy, but
Yes.
that's how I
I
feel.
think well, the whole reason it was set up was because of those three things, and because it is publicly funded, or through the TV license and
Mm.
everything, which I actually think is a good thing. We don't. I feel that the BBC shouldn't have to do that whole
Yeah, yeah, they shouldn't feel like
crappy
they're not in
TV.
that bed.
No, they're better than that, and they don't need to worry about the whole um, things about oh click rates or viewing figures, or it should be there to kind of the brief should be you're going to educate the good people of Britain because there's so you want to go somewhere where you absolutely know that there's no bias, it's just facts.
What we
And yeah,
want is
that could be a dry read. It could
yeah,
be, but there's
that's
so
what you
much
go
other
for.
stuff up
It's,
there.
go
I
to the
believe that
BBC
that's what
for
you need.
sensationalism. Like
Yeah.
we need Wikipedia for news.
Mm. Yeah.
Wiki
Well,
news.
anyway,
Anyway,
that's what I
let's
would do anyway.
let's go on the subject
Anyway,
of
back on
websites. So,
yes.
when you started to do Best Sudbury Business Expo,
Yeah.
I think I did the website. Was it in
You did.
2016? I did the website.
You
So
did
very,
all
very
of them.
basic
You did all
website.
of them website.
I did all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we revamped it recently. It was really basic. I did this thing, I'm like, oh, it's a bit basic. Is that all right? And I sent a link to you and you're like, yeah, it's great. And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So maybe that just
I
goes
think
to show something as simple is better, less complicated is better.
absolutely because they it didn't. I felt that the expo website it just needed to be very functional and easy to use. So
Hmm.
its whole point was when the purpose is twofold. Once people that are interested in exhibiting and people that are interested in visiting, and it's just got to be simple for them. It
Here it
doesn't need to
is,
look
where to find it.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's so many websites that I hear people complaining about. I couldn't find a phone number. I couldn't find out where they are. I want to go to this event, but
yeah.
where's the date? I'm like, that's got to
Mm,
be that important information. Where, when, how much
yeah,
it's going to cost? What can I do
yeah,
there? Is there food? Is it
yeah,
accessible? That should be that's the most important information at the top, and then the more complicated stuff further, further down,
yeah,
and the exhibitors further in. That's kind of how I,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Use,
yeah, I think
yeah.
it's the brief. The brief was fulfilled, and really, that's what every year's website I
Yeah.
feel has got.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, as I guess over time, it's because the SEO on it is good. It's also really helped promote those businesses that exhibit.
Yeah, because they get a
So
profile page on there and that doesn't get destroyed. So
exactly,
if they exhibited in
no,
2017, it's probably still there. They might be like, oh, it's out of date now, but at least you're still
mm,
there. That's quite good.
yeah,
Pointing to them. It's good
yes, I think
links.
because what I want to say to I, the message I kind of want to get across to the people who exhibit is that yeah, it is that the event itself, but there's also I promote the businesses on the lead up to the expo, but also, I want people who maybe have visited and forgot to take a card or can't remember or whatever, so they can find them through the website
Yeah, that's the
and
point. Yeah.
read a little bit about them, get in touch with them, and I know these days it takes a lot longer for people to make up a sort of buying decision. So, say they're going to speak to you about having a website.
Yeah.
Unless they've already met you, I think it's unlikely that someone's going to come up to your
Almost never
fancy.
does someone meet me and say, I need a website now. It's
I
as if,
need, yes, do it. Here's a blank check.
yeah, shut up and take my money. I never, I
Yeah,
just, is it,
have it,
is
have
that a
it.
Futurama reference?
Yeah.
Right, shut up and take my money. I have
So
had that with a logo. I'm sure I've had that with a logo design once. Smaller value things, smaller
yeah,
amounts of
yeah,
money things, but usually people and you, Best of Sudbury, has given me lots of work because people have found me on your
good.
website or you've recommended me to people. Like the most recent rubbish clearance fairies, that was Sudbury Recycling. And that logo I did, I broke all the rules on that logo.
I know I read.
I did it, I'm like, that's really complicated for a logo, but I like it. And I thought, I'm just going to do it.
Fairy.
And I
Yeah.
showed it to Lizzie, and we're so on the same. She's brilliant. She's on the same wavelength. And I thought, I'm going to send her just a picture. What do you think? She went, I love it in capitals. I love it. Like,
Great.
let's
Yeah.
do it. But
Excellent. I am.
yeah,
I was. I had a coffee with someone earlier today, and she had one of her clients got a successful win because of her, and she said, I just have to tell it. I just have to tell it. And it's the same with me. The biggest kind of like yay is when someone says, "Oh, I got business from you," or "Thank you so much for that
yeah,
referral. It came
yeah.
through," and I'm like, "That's the
It's
whole
great,
reason
isn't
why I'm
it?
here." Yeah.
During
So
lockdown,
yeah.
there was a website I did where they had a shop, but they also sold online. And this customer had been not the most easily
Mm,
pleased, let's say. They were nice,
hmm.
but they were a bit hard work
Mm.
sometimes, but nice. But they actually rang me up to thank me because the
Oh,
website
that's
had kept him
nice.
going through lockdown. And I'm like, oh, thank God they ring me up for that. But
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
When people
that's
realize people are succeeding because of something
yeah,
you're doing, but you don't realize how much of an impact you have.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah.
I don't get, lots and lots of feedback from people, but like, I remember one of um one of my Best Discovery members. They said, I got a really, really good bit of business from your newsletter. I was like, really?
Oh, that's really good.
I don't, I mean, obviously, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it just goes to show that you put in hard work
What
for a
you
business.
get out what you put in. And
Yeah, yeah.
I've been working really hard at LinkedIn the last 12 months because the last 12
Hmm.
months I've really been on it like a bonnet with the menopause horrendousness I had in
Yeah.
2022. I've recovered
Mm.
from that by about October 23, I think, September, October. So about a year I've been like, right, okay, I'm okay now. Let's try different things, and I'm having a great time doing it.
Mm.
And so I've been on LinkedIn and I didn't think I was getting anywhere. I'm posting and posting, trying to offer
Yeah,
value and offer not be like, buy from me, buy from me. You don't want to, I never want to, I cannot be that person, just can't be the hard sell. But just
yeah.
offering useful stuff, do this, do that. And I've had two bits of business from two people recently that
Really?
one of them has ever liked one of my posts, actually physically liked.
Really?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I'm starting to get
Huh.
business from LinkedIn. But I think sometimes you don't always know, some people don't always respond in reality to things. In their head, they might just go, I like
Yeah,
that. And they'll go away and
yeah,
they'll see another thing that you do. I like that. Oh, I had some good feedback from them. And it takes a
yeah.
little while. And at one point they go, I'm gonna do it now. And
It's so funny.
you don't know what
This
good
afternoon,
opinions are being, maybe bad opinions, but mostly good opinions are being formed about you until, oh, hello, I really want a widget or a wedding complete.
yeah. I've probably done
Um,
all sorts of research and everything. You just don't know about it. It's funny because
yeah.
I'm going to be sending out one of my newsletters, my business to business newsletters. And I've got a little top tip that I'm doing, and it is pretty much on just what we're talking about how people sort of consume and engage all differently. And so by offering what is it that you can kind of offer to sort of build up that engagement, and
Hmm.
and I think that really really works because it's sort of if you want somebody to be you're trusted with somebody's website, that's a big bit of their
I
business, isn't it?
always feel
A
so
lot of
humble,
business.
like, oh, thank you so much. I've got two customers. I've got
Yeah,
a new customer. Oh my God, I'm so happy to have them. They're a veterinary surgery locally. I got that one. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like,
excellent.
oh my God, well, can I even,
Yeah,
I always get this kind of, I think it's good to have that conscientious worry of, am I good enough?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. No, I do. I think
conscientiousness. It's not, oh my God, I
because you
can't.
care.
It's, I better make sure I
Mm,
can. And that's a good,
yeah,
you mustn't be stopped by that, but you must at least be, okay, I understand what the implications are. It's a responsible attitude. But there was a
yeah,
lady
yeah.
from the networking event I was on earlier, and she's a marketing lady, and she's brilliant. She was really, really absolutely right about what she said about offering. She's talked about community and offering value, and
Yeah.
she promotes people. That's what she's a marketing person, and she proposed this thing to this business that came to her. So we want to promote our business, and we need to do this, this, and this.
Mhm.
She's like, right, well, this is how you're going to do it, and they were like, no way. But what she wanted to do was just give people tips on how to do this and how to do that and
Yeah.
how to do this. And the customer was like, no, we don't want to do that. We need to keep all our secrets. And she said, well, we ignored them and we did it anyway. And now they're just really successful. It's really worked for them. And then
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
did it anyway. And
It
it's
is.
succeeded. People go, you
Yeah.
start to build a positive opinion, and this person is knows what they're talking about. They're they're happy to give out free advice. What more do they know? How else can they help me if this is just that this must
Mm.
be the tip of the iceberg. It's all building. It's
Yeah.
like in expert circles when Stephen says people do business with people like something and
No,
trust.
like and trust.
Like so, I'm
Yeah.
sure about the third one.
No, like and trust.
No, like and trust. That's it. You get to know them, you like them, and you think,
Mm.
yeah, I'll do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
trust, but the trust part is
It's.
really hard to win. And
Mm.
as long as you're authentic and genuine, I think people know that. And so when you give out free stuff, free information,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's yeah, that's always going to be a win. And I think that's how a lot of people work out when someone's dodgy. They're trying to keep all this information to themselves, and you have to pay all this much money to me, and I will
Yeah.
give you this information. And then there's people that give out money or give out information for free, and they're like, oh, that person must be genuine because that's what they're doing. I found that with my SEO, you can do webinars. I wanted to charge for them to start with because I know
Mm.
people would get return on their investment. I hate that term, but they will go
Yeah.
away. They'll probably make hundreds of pounds more, maybe more from
Mm.
their website doing what I'm telling them to do. But I couldn't get anyone to
Yeah.
pay any money for them. So I thought, right, well, in that case, I'm just going to, and a couple of friends said, do it for free and put lots of sales stuff in it, not too much, but say, this is what I
Yeah.
do. And it's led to business. So I now do
Yeah.
them for free.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a where to start with a website in what's the next one?
Ooh.
October. So if people haven't
Mm.
got a website, I'm going to show them all the ways of getting a website, the advantages and disadvantages of all the different things, and then they can make up their own mind. But I'm going
Yeah,
to do
that
that
sounds
for
like a good
free, and that's
idea.
an hour of my time for free that I'll give to several people. And I
Yeah.
realized that's the way to go rather than charging for it. Maybe at some point I will, but
Yeah.
that's not what I do. I charge money for looking after your
Yeah.
website, and everyone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah. No, that is the it's the way to go. Like yeah, like the little top tips that I put in my newsletters,
Yeah.
just to kind of like build up and to build up a sort of little bit of trust and to get people just looking at it here, and just to get people interested in what I'm doing, and they're all related to a small business.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
I
yeah,
get so
hopefully
much more
there's
out of
something
working
there.
with small businesses than I did the couple of big businesses I ever worked with. The small
Yeah,
businesses and watching them grow and seeing that being part of that is so much more rewarding
yeah.
than when I started in 2010 on my own. I thought I better be the big go-getter, and it's kind of
Mm.
Wolf of Wall Street kind of brain that I got rid of because I realized I don't want that.
Yeah,
I don't know, would I want that? So I'm happy. I'm so happy
yeah,
now.
yeah. I definitely enjoy working with the small businesses that are you know, on my doorstep, as it were, than back in my kind of corporate days where I'd be dealing with the likes of BT or, you know, I was going to go and say a couple of ISPs, but come on, because they were actually all really lovely on the whole in the early days. Then
Yeah,
when they morphed to big kind of American corporates, not so much fun. But in the early days, they were great fun
yeah,
because
yeah.
they were like, "What's happening? It's all growing
Yeah.
so quickly." Um, but yeah, small
And
businesses,
London has
they're
that whole
beautiful.
other mentality anyway. London and big business and all in that direction. There's this whole other superficial,
Yes,
my
yeah,
bank account is more important than my ethos mentality that I
yeah. I
kind
think
of,
that is changing. I like to think it's
yeah,
changing anyway.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Things that have
I
changed
think,
also are like when I started, I only had a mobile number. I didn't have a landline. I lived at my
yeah,
mum's at the time, and now I have an
yeah,
office, so I have a landline. But I can pick up that landline on my mobile phone now.
yes,
But
it's crazy, isn't it? I
yeah,
don't
I
have.
think
I have my landline, but I don't
on your
actually
mobile
have a
phone.
phone. Yeah, it just they all it just gets straight through
I,
to my mobile. But back
hello,
in
I'm on
back in
my
the
phone.
yeah, yeah. like back
Which
in
is
the
nice. I can
day.
just switch the
It's,
app off, or I can put it on
yeah,
busy or something, and it will take a message,
yeah,
which is really nice. But there's no shame, I don't think, anymore in having only a mobile phone number.
yeah. Although they used to be, didn't they? I do
Terrible,
remember
yeah.
in
It's
some
14 years
businesses.
ago.
I'm
I can
thinking,
remember. I think I made an
yeah,
inquiry. Would you like me to help with your website? No, because you don't have a landline number. It's like,
wow,
whoa, okay, well, thanks, bye.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, that was one of the few people that replied to any of my emails. So that was perhaps a win in a way. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
when is
sometimes
on my list of questions? When is the next expo? Do you have plans for the next one?
I do. Well, I don't have a date, um, but it will be happening, and it'll be happening in late spring, early summer, like it was this year. I hopefully will be in the town hall again if I can.
I hope so, because that's so
Um,
convenient as
yeah,
well. I
if
mean, I'm
it's
being very
not in the
selfish. It's around the corner from me.
yeah, well, it's convenience is I think it's important. And what I actually, if for any reason I couldn't do it in the town hall, I would find another centre of Sudbury location. Um, and the format works. But I think I would like to have a thing. I would really like people's feedback on what they would like the seminars to be on.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, the seminars I've kept it fairly low cost. It used to be free. The seminars used to be free, and I was fine with that. But I remember it was the Stoke by Nayland one. The Stoke by Nayland one. I remember had a Wendy Smith. Do you remember this at all? Wendy
Yeah.
Smith. She was
I remember.
a Paralympian,
Oh, right.
and
Was I? I can't think I wasn't there or something. Was I on holiday?
sure you would. No, you were definitely there.
I'll have to go and find there's some
Definitely there.
pictures and I'll have some. Yeah,
Yeah.
my brain's been
Um.
wiped. I was abducted by aliens that
She,
day.
so she was going to be doing a talk. I guess very much, I guess, about mindset and things because yeah, um she was in a car accident or a bike accident. Lost the use of her legs. The doctor told her she'd never walk again, and she can walk.
Wow.
I mean, with sticks and things, but you know, she sort of showed them that they were wrong, and she does a lot of kind of like work on that with a. She was working with a colleague, and I thought, and so it got really booked up that seminar, obviously, and then when it actually came to it, very few people turned up, and I feel that's
Hmm.
really rude.
It
So
is.
I,
It is.
yeah.
People have done that to me online with my webinar. They've said they're going to come and then they don't, and I'm like,
Mm,
if I do that, I'll message them saying, really sorry, I can't come. Oh, I just
mm.
can't do that.
Yeah,
It's how I was brought up, basically.
yeah, it is a bit rude. So that's when I decided that I would start charging, and yeah, not much. I think I charged like I can't remember how much, somewhere between £5 and £15, but kind of quite low cost. So that people would, but
Invested.
enough if they bought the ticket, they would turn up.
They're sort of invested. They're more sort of
Yes.
and it's like a way of well, not gatekeeping, but it's a way of filtering people
Mm.
out.
Time wasters and things.
Yeah, that's it, exactly it. Yeah, it filters out the time wasters and the people that really are
Yeah,
interested, I think.
yeah. So that's why I started charging. Anyway, will be doing 3 seminars again, but I'd be really interested in people's feedback and what sort of thing that they would like to hear. So I got a bit of time to try and find somebody to do that seminar. I think AI would probably be one that people be
Mm,
interested. Um, but then it's like finding what element of AI is AI in your
yeah,
marketing or
yeah. I could probably
um,
do one, and I could probably do a little bit about AI and the content on your website and how to go about
yeah,
apps.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because that's
something we can
definitely.
discuss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I use AI. You have to be careful with AI. It doesn't write stuff for you it's copied from somewhere, but it's quite good for putting into words the mumbo jumbo that comes out of my face when I write it.
Yeah,
I write it down, I'm
yeah.
like, can it catch
Uh,
ChatGPT? Can it make sense of this? And it goes, yeah, suddenly. Blah, blah, blah. Makes me sound like an adult now, thanks. Or sometimes it comes out rubbish and I go, that's how I don't want to sound, and that's giving me some clarity. There's a
yeah,
way.
it's good that now I think AI well, certainly with ChatGPT, it's got a memory thing.
Mm,
It's got memory, so it can start learning. Because when I first started using ChatGPT for like blog posts and newsletters or whatever, I did feel it was churning out words that sounded like a year 6 essay,
yeah, yeah.
where they
And
were
it's because it's
using
copied from the web, isn't it?
every adjective
In the
But
dynamic fast-paced world of web design, it would come out with. I'm like,
yeah,
stop starting my blogs with this. Just I've given you
no,
some
it's
bullet
awful.
points. Stop it.
So I've actually now said, and I'm always really, really polite. I always say please and thank you because you don't know when they're going to take over the world.
I have a friend who's a website developer who says that as well. Just in case they take over the world, I always say please and thank
Yes,
you. And I'm like, me
please
too.
and thank you. But I do ask, I say, please, can you, I say I want the tone direct but professional. I want grammatically perfect. I said, and lay it the
It
adjectives,
never does it in
please.
UK English. That's the only thing. I cannot
Oh, yes,
make
I've
it do
told
you.
you can do, there's some rules because I said, because I would be writing stuff and it would say about Sudbury in Canada. I'm like, no, this is
Oh.
Sudbury, Suffolk in UK, not Canada. I said English spelling, please, not American. And it has learnt these rules. But sometimes I read on social media, I can read a post or I see a post that's clearly been chat GPT'd, and I just think, oh,
And
oh,
LinkedIn has got it where it can reword your and I'm like, well, I wouldn't speak like that. What the
no,
try not to swear.
no, really, just because I think if you don't write in a way that you speak, you know,
Yeah.
if it's like you're not a
You can make
ghostwriter, I'm
it
talking about like,
slightly different, but
mm,
it has to be, you have to read it and go, that's a person that and this is what
yeah,
I tell people about SEO. When people say, oh, will you do my keywords? Will you write my content for me?
mm,
Yeah, but it's got to sound like you're not selling to Google, you're selling to people. And Google
yeah,
is emulating the person searching. So yeah, it's the same mentality. It's being a human, just be a
yeah,
human all the time.
yes. Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
Chat GPT AI, it has massively helped in terms of I can now get a lot more content
I can get a lot
out
more
there.
done. And also
Mm,
formatting anything. If you want to, if you find and replace for whatever reason doesn't work, you can
yes,
say, can
yeah,
you do this, but only if there's this or something. And it's
yeah,
brilliant for that. Because,
yeah.
oh,
I have done
you're
it
like,
with simple spreadsheets and things for
yeah,
formulas
it's
because I'm not great at
great.
that. So it's good. It's helped me with that. It's helped me with so nothing to do with work. But say you've got a certain amount of ingredients in your cupboard, and you say these are my ingredients. Find me a recipe, and it will come up with something.
Wow. I haven't thought of that.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I'm
very
definitely
good.
going to write a post on unexpected things to do with ChatGPT, and that's
Oh.
one of them. I hadn't even thought of that. I'm going to nick that. I will put a link to you. There'll be a backlink to Best of Sudbury.
Okay, great. With my, I tell you what it's you shouldn't use it for though. Knitting patterns.
Really?
So I was so lazy one evening. I was sat on my sofa, which I call my nest because it's surrounded by
Oh,
my
I'm exactly
wool
the
and
same.
knitting
Yeah, this is my
needles.
nest here with all my art stuff and computer stuff.
Yeah,
It's all, yeah.
yeah. So
And
I've had
I have a
I
random
really,
spoon. But anyway,
oh, that's lovely.
and my dad bought me
Thanks.
that. So I don't know what it is or what it's for, but I like it. When yeah, I like it too. I don't. What am I going to do with that? But anyway,
Isn't it for putting like dirty like
is it? Oh, for on time.
spoons?
It's too nice for that.
I know it is. You
I
shouldn't
think
though.
it's
It is too
walnut.
nice.
Anyway, I found it in the drawer
Yeah.
and
So
went, anyway.
one thing don't use ChatGPT is for a knitting pattern. As I said, I was too
I can't
lazy.
understand knitting patterns anyway. I have got one and I looked at them like, what?
I was too lazy to get up and find this knitting pattern. I was going to knit a hat because I can knit a hat in an evening. I
Wow.
couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered. So I thought I just sat on my ChatGPT on my phone, and I said, "Can you come up with a knitting pattern for an adult woman for using this type of wool, these type of knit needles?" So
I got all sorts of funny images in my head
it
now.
created it. It
Is it a
created it.
sombrero or something?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was just a bit small,
Oh,
just a little bit
was
small.
that big, was it?
Pinhead. But then, interestingly, someone that's like works up at Entrepreneur Circle and the Best of headquarters. She's an avid knitter as well, and she actually posted something on her Facebook page about how AI is kind of ruining knitting because people will sell their patterns on Etsy, but actually they could be just something that ChatGPT has come up with, and it's going to be completely wrong. So I would say no knitting patterns. Definitely want a human for that. Um,
You've got someone walking around
Otherwise,
the
your
street going,
hats.
but ChatGPT wrote my knitting pattern. I don't know why it's all funny shape, but it must be all right.
Yeah, so your hat's too
There's a
big and your
cartoon.
jumpers are.
Someone can draw cartoons of the crazy knitting patterns people have ended
Yeah,
up with big hats.
yes, exactly. Got to be
I
careful.
think you're
So
so clever to just knit. Do you remember it was about 10 years ago. I tried to take up knitting. Oh my God, I can't. I can't knit without looking, and I end up doing this, and I'm like, after a while, why do my eyes hurt so much? And because it's
Yeah, it's staring. It's practice.
I can
Practice.
understand Mandarin. I've learned Mandarin in that time, and I can read
It's easier
1,500
than
to
knitting.
2,000 characters. But knitting patterns, no,
No, no.
that's like looking at ancient texts from another planet. You and my friend Carrie, you just make all these wonderful things. I just think you're really clever.
Do you know, can't really read knitting patterns, if I'm honest. What I do is I need to watch a YouTube video, and a lot of the patterns come with YouTube videos to show you how to do certain stitches. So, my chickens, I haven't got one I
Yeah,
can show
your
you.
chickens are
I haven't got
brilliant.
my chickens. So I've got my little chickens. That's Stuart from the Wool Patch. He said, this is a very easy, this is a sort of like over a couple of nights you can create these chickens. So I got the pattern, and I really struggled with some of it because I can't really understand them. Obviously, all the different. So I look up what the search term means, or when it's got FPL, blah, blah, blah. I
That.
Google it, and then I have to go. I have to go on the website and watch somebody do and there are loads. There are hundreds. Anyway, the chicken pattern came with a lady. The chicken pattern came with a link to a lady. I mean, it didn't come with a lady. That was
Hello, I'm going
it's
to
a
teach
chicken
you how to
pattern.
make this.
Lives with you now.
Oh, AI is so amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So she goes through each section and tells you how to do it. And I'm like, so that's why when I can understand a pattern, because I've done so much research and looked at the YouTube videos and spent
Wow, there's so much
hours.
work that goes to working it out.
When I know how it's done, I don't stop doing it, which is why I'm probably on my 12th chicken now, because I know how to do it. It's the same with the sock. Everyone goes, oh, you're so clever
That's
knitting the socks.
amazing. It's like
Knitting
3
socks.
sticks, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, needles.
I can't cope with needles, sticks. I can't even remember how to do. I might just take it up again now and just see remember how bad I was
Hey,
at it. But I
just
remember you
just
fixing my
don't get your
knitting one day
patterns
because I
to
was showing
nail.
go, oh, and you were like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I just do it for you. Blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. You just,
I don't know what you did, but I can knit holes. I can,
oh yes, well that's
it's modern.
yeah, it is. It's like
It's air
yeah,
conditioning or something.
yes, yeah. I
So I
find it
told you it'd
very
be a
modern.
random chat at the end
No,
around.
certainly is. God, wow.
It's nearly an hour. I was going to say there's a couple more questions here, like how is it going? Hey, how's it going? Is best
It's
big
going.
massive jump, not a segue at all. Massive jump to
How's it
best
going?
of Sudbury.
It's
I see you're
yeah,
making chickens for people, and then best of
yes,
Sudbury.
yeah, yeah. That confuses people, and I like that. No, it's going well. It's going well. Yesterday, last year, not the best year of my life. I'll be honest with one thing or another. And so the business very much took a back seat.
Yeah, has
But
to.
still, it still trundled along, doing its thing. That was fine. Um, but this year, I don't know. My head's in a better place, and so I know that there are a certain amount of certain amount of money I need to go and bring in each month, and I got a couple left, which is I get a membership, the best of. I tend not to get much of a churn. I think I'm really lucky, or I work really hard to try and keep the people
You
that
do a
I've
lot for
got business.
people. I know other people that don't do similar to what you do, and then they just feel like, well, what am I paying for? And you really go out
Mm.
and do stuff for people.
That is because I feel as if someone is giving me their hard earned cash, then they need to see something for it, which is why I get really frustrated when somebody signed up and and they don't really engage. I don't really expect people to, come along to every networking event or, be in touch all the time. But there are some that that I never never speak to. But if that's kind of what makes them, if it works for them, that's fine. It's just I want to make sure that everyone feels as if they're getting what they want um,
I
from
have a
me.
very similar ethos to the websites that I do. I occasionally get people, I build them a website, they don't hear from them, and they say, oh, I paid all this money and I nothing got anything from it. I'm like, well, you have to do this, this, and this, or
Mm,
and
yeah,
they
I
don't
guess it
always
is.
do it. It doesn't happen, it hasn't happened for a long time now. I think people's mindsets have changed.
Yes, yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean,
Our,
like
our ethos is to do stuff for people because that's what we do. I
yes,
fix the security,
yeah,
I'm there for people, and I make sure I write blog posts on my Best of
yes,
Sudbury profile so that I get links, I get good backlinks.
yes,
That's how you use Best of Sudbury. It's
yeah,
partly how you can use Best of Sudbury for your what you get with your money.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I mean, there are lots. I mean, there are lots of different ways that you can get, make the most of it. Just like getting the reviews. I think during lockdown, when
Yeah.
the third party review platform was
I
created,
love
so
that. I
you
love
get,
that on Google
yeah,
that they go on my Best of
yeah,
Sudbury profile.
yeah. Google, Trustpilot,
Yeah.
TripAdvisor, Yale, Booking.com, um, Facebook occasionally. Um, that's I think that's a really good thing.
Mm.
And people don't pay extra for that. It's all kind of included, which is fantastic. I think.
I think
Um,
so too. When
but
when that was
yeah,
being done, that was great because I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to if I was going to ask for a review. I didn't have to decide.
I
Well, do I want
know.
it on my Best of Sudbury or do I want it on my
Mm,
Google Business profile? I
yeah,
don't have to decide
yeah.
anymore. Google Business
I
profile,
know.
and then
It's yeah.
and if they don't have a Gmail account, well, Best of Sudbury profile. It's easy.
Yeah, it's really really good. Um, so yeah, it's going well. This year a bit of a slowish start. And obviously the expo, that was all lovely and busy.
That's good.
And then at the end of July, I thought I would try a Facebook lead gen ad, um, that I'd run on Facebook, which some of the other best ofs run. And so Becky she gave she did a wonderful video about how you set it up, which was really useful. So I created this Facebook page, or this Facebook ad, lead gen one, very very targeted, small businesses, business owners, people within. I think I did it within like a 15-mile radius of where the best of is. So that
Hmm.
carries from Hadley through to Clare.
Hmm.
So it wasn't going to have too much wastage. And because now Facebook kind of learns about your audience as it's running,
Hmm.
it kind of delivered to the right sort of people. Anyway, last of the big spenders, I spent 60 quid on this ad.
That's about
It
what I
ran,
spend. £100
yeah,
maximum every now,
yeah.
just every now and then I give it a try. So
Yeah, because
yeah.
I hadn't run this. I hadn't run an ad like this, and I certainly hadn't done one myself that I actually sat there and done, ever. So I thought, right, it's a bit like gambling. What is it that you can afford to
It
lose?
is like gambling.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't spend
yes,
more
you
than
don't know. You can't
spend what you're happy to
guarantee
lose, I think.
exactly.
Maybe that's not
And
how you
I
should think
thought,
of it. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, because advertising
well,
I've
I
never
think,
been good at, but yeah.
yeah. So I did this. I ran it over 4 days, like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, over the weekend, and I got 12 or 13 leads from it, which is
Yeah,
really good.
brilliant. That's really
Um,
good.
yeah, and I did get people. I got a couple of people signed up. So basically, I needed one person. Actually, I needed half a person to cover the cost of the ad, which I did. So I think probably the end. I might do it at the end of October. I'll probably run one again.
Hmm.
But that's a lot of people. They might think, oh, is Facebook the right place to go and advertise? Because I've got a business. Should it be more on LinkedIn? But I'd say, yeah, definitely give it a go, because it's whatever you think of the platform.
Hmm.
There are
It
lots of
depends who you're
people there.
aiming at. So if you're aiming at people,
Yeah, I'm talking
business
about
to
me, like
individual is obviously
clients.
Facebook, but then also business to people just starting up, people just thinking
Yes.
about starting up. Where do I go?
Yeah,
Who do I
yeah,
talk to?
yeah,
That's best of Sudbury
yeah,
to me, and
yeah,
perhaps me to a
yeah,
certain extent, because I love to help startups as well.
yeah, yeah. So it's all going well. There is a plan, I plan to, do this until I die. Um,
Me
um,
too.
um, and yeah, I really really enjoy it. I really enjoy helping people and dealing with local people, local businesses, and making a difference in their lives. That makes me happy. Makes my soul sing.
I also want to mention thank you for allowing me to win, I think 13, am I right? 12 or 13 awards with Best of Sudbury.
Yes,
Maybe I made that up.
yes.
Maybe it's only two.
There's a no, no, no. There is a load. There is a load.
There's 30. I broke one of the picture frames the other day. I was sorting the office out. I went, oh no, I have to get another picture frame. Oops. So
Oh, are they your frames? Did you buy your
No,
frames, or
you
did
gave them
the
to
ones?
me. You came in with a framed. I was like, oh, oops.
I think I just got them from QG.
Yeah, yeah, they're nice and cheap. Other
Yes, yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
cheap places are available.
Yeah. Oh, do
But
you know? I've got your rubber. I've got your certificate as well. I think. Have I got your certificate still?
mm,
In
I'm going to
the
say yes, but I don't know.
250 one.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's still in the innovation
Don't I
labs.
get a 10-year one?
Oh no! What can make you one?
I can design one for me and give it to you, and then you can give it to me.
Yeah. Oh, I could. Oh, I could. You know,
No.
I could get Beck. I'll get Becky to do one. Because I, do you know, actually, I did. I did
If we
email
don't
her
have
and I
many
said,
members
"Oh,
that have done their
Abbie,
10 years.
yeah,
Have you had?
you and Waldo Williams."
Yes, I thought it might be. I wondered who else it would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I can't think of who other ones that have been there for some time. Like I said, I do have quite a low kind of churn now. People do tend to stay, um,
You get loyal
which is
people, don't you? Which
fantastic.
are the nicest, I
Good.
think.
Yeah, yeah. People who kind of really appreciate what you do,
Yeah,
which is
I've got a
always
couple of them.
nice.
Rob of Pause for Thought is one of my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
I did. I do a little test to make sure that everything was working.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes if I need someone to test a website and I think I've been looking at this too long,
Mm,
I need someone else to check something.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
always happy to do that.
he's a lovely bloke, and well, he's Pause for Thought cattery, so
Yeah.
cats, it's all good. Do you still have rabbits? How are they?
They are very well. They are very well.
Okay.
They spend a lot of time sleeping, long rabbiting. They just like eating. They
Oh,
love to eat. They love to eat more than anything else. Um, and yeah, just kind of chasing themselves around. They're going to be moved back into we've got a little conservatory,
oh,
bolt-on conservatory. So
they're
in the
warm for the
winter they come in
winter.
there. Yeah, and also I like having them in the house, but I can't have them
Mm.
in the house because I like them to be. I like to give them room.
Yeah,
So I don't let them like. Sometimes they come into our sitting room at night,
yeah,
you know. But they do like to chew things. So they've already chewed the bottom of the curtains, and I'm really worried they're going to chew through the cables.
yeah,
So what we have to keep them quite separated
yeah.
because they love to chew.
Gonna give
But
mouth guards. That's pretty cruel, isn't it? Muzzles. No, not for rabbits.
no, not muzzles for
That'd
rabbits.
be horrible, wouldn't it? No,
Oh,
don't do that.
you know. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
there we go. And that's about an hour.
That's about an hour. Well, I'm going to say thank you so much for spending an hour doing this. And thank you so much for
Oh,
being Penny of Best of Sudbury and helping my business and loads of other businesses. And yeah, thank you very much.
pleasure.
Anything you
Thank you.
want to add?
Pardon? Anything to
Anything
add?
else you want to add?
Oh, no,
No.
not really. No. I mean, I would say if you're a little business, a small local business, watch this, and you don't feel I'm too mad, then and
Or
you're
if you are
interested
also
about,
mad, then you're fine.
yes, yeah, it's fine. But if you don't actually have to be, um,
It helps.
but do feel free to get in touch if you need to know any more about, the best.
Yay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.